Hello, and welcome back to the Vida Real Life Coaching Channel. My name is Efrain Urrutia. So recently I wrote in my blog about finding your true purpose and also using your gifts and talents to help to inspire others. This blog that I wrote was inspired by the curiosity of answering the question, what is it that drives us and inspires us to find our true purpose in life? And why is that such a big question that we're always asking ourselves and we're always chasing after? And this is because of some of the clients that I get come to me with those type of questions. They're usually well rounded within their lives with their personal finances or relationships or careers and other aspects of their life, as maybe a health also. They're doing pretty good, but then there's just one piece that's missing, and it comes around in the question of, I don't feel like I'm doing what I need to be doing, or I feel like I'm not fulfilling my purpose, or I feel like I just have something missing in life and I'm trying to find out what that is. So those type of questions inspire me to do different types of research to find out and to look for different perspectives, as well as using my own personal history and my own um, things that I've been through in my life, right? So this particular question about finding your purpose, but also using your talents and gifts to inspire others, that's an added piece to that question that I added in the blog. So this last week or a week and a half ago, I had a business trip, and I was able to take 2-hour flights to and back, right? And so during those flights, I wanted to do something different with my research, and I picked out two movies to watch, one there and one back. So I'll explain the two movies quickly and then the two characters, and then I'll tie them in together later in the video, and then we'll get into some of the discussions around the purpose that we have, and why is it so stressful and such a daunting question that we always ask ourselves. So the first movie is The Gladiator, with the main character played by Russell Crowe. His name is Maximus. So Maximus's whole journey from the very beginning is just to be able to complete his career and then go back home with his family and retire in his humble home and countryside and just be happy, right? Live the rest of his life. So from the very beginning, the opening scene, he's daydreaming about going back home. He's in the wheat field. There's beautiful music playing in the background, and he's daydreaming about just finally going back home after all this is done. So that basically is foreshadowing the end of the movie, right? That he will return home one day. So then the reality hits, and then the movie starts, right? He goes to battle. So in this movie, Maximus, he ends up being lied to, manipulated, and then he also suffers a major tragedy, losing his wife and his child in the process. So when that happened, essentially in his mind, life is not worth living anymore. What is there to fight for? What am I going to do now? So he's at the lowest points in his life, and then he gets enslaved, and then he's forced to fight, which at first he doesn't want to fight, but then he realizes that this is a way back to Rome, and this is a way to get revenge on the Caesar that is the ruler at the time that caused all his troubles. So that inspires him and gives him enough energy just to keep going and to fight his way through and make it back to Rome. He makes it back to Rome for revenge, but eventually he realizes that he's going back for a bigger purpose, right? The bigger purpose is to go back to Rome and give Rome back to the people and have the people actually rule and change the government there. So he realizes this even after all the pain and suffering that he went through, the loss of his family, um, being in the Colosseum, having to fight to the death, or obviously, and making it through. So within his personal story, his purpose that he was living was that to be the best soldier that he could be, and then retire and then go back home. Then tragedy hits, and he ends up finding a new purpose, which was, no matter how bad I feel, no matter how horrible of life I've had recently, I'm going to do something greater than myself, and I'm going to give Rome back to the people. So that's a very inspirational movie that I wanted to share the details on. And I know many of you have seen it already, but it just shows what you can do when you're faced with those type of trials and tribulations in life. Now, the second movie, and like I said, after I discuss the second movie, then I'll tie both in, and then we'll discuss, like I said, the original topic of the purpose in life. The second movie is Bohemian Rhapsody, a story about the famous band, the famous British band Queen, and of course its main character, right, played by Rami Malek, which is about Freddie Mercury. So Freddie Mercury, another iconic figure, right, in history. So his whole journey is also to be the best musician ever, right, and one day just transcend music as some of the best in history. So the opening scene, similar to the Gladiator, but very different, but similar, and you'll see why. He wakes up, and then he gets is getting ready to go to the stadium for the Live Aid concert, which is a very iconic concert at the time, especially with all the bands that were playing, but also especially what about how Queen got there in the first place to be able to play in that Live Aid concert to raise money, right? So that foreshadows again that he will return to that concert right at the end of the movie. So then after he gets in the opening scene, after he gets there, then he gets out to the audience and the crowd, and then the movie starts from there. So Freddie's whole journey through the movie is to become Queen, right? The band, and also to find himself along the way, and most importantly, trying to get the respect and the acceptance of his own father, right? So he battles through that. He battles through his personal feelings about who he is, who he wants to become. He feels guilt. He feels shame. He hides a lot of things throughout the movie, and eventually it all comes out, right? And he's able to just be himself and be the person that he wants to be. But then he also suffers a terrible tragedy as well. He is diagnosed with AIDS, which has no cure at the time, and a lot of people are dying at the time as well. So when he finds that out, he realizes that his time is just about to end. Has a humbling experience. He's already done so much damage with relationships, so he starts mending relationships, starts making it right with everybody else in the band as well, and then he gets finally the acceptance of his father. Right, his father sees him as for who he is and loves him no matter what unconditionally, and he finally gets that big hug, and then he realizes that he needs to do something bigger than himself, even with all that pain and suffering, similar to Maximus, all the pain and suffering, physical pain and suffering that he's suffering because of the virus. He knows that he needs to play and continue to play music and go to this Live Aid concert. Queen cannot miss this concert, no matter how much he's in pain, and he cannot sing. His vocal cords are shot at some point. So he makes it through by just sheer willpower, and he reaches deep inside and realizes that he will not just die and wither away with this disease and be forgotten. He's gonna be Queen. He's gonna make Queen be remembered as the iconic band through all time and eternity. and will put a stamp in musical history. So he sets out to do that. They end up going to the Live Aid concert. He performs, gives one of the greatest performances of all time under all this pain. And now we have the whole story of Queen to tell and to live for generations to come, right? So in these two movies, these two characters are both similar, even though they're different stories, way different timelines, time frames, and plots. But it shows that these two characters were living a purposeful life at the moment, because Maximus was a great general, won so many battles. He was doing what he was meant to do, and then he got hit with the tragedy. And within that tragedy, he found another purpose to continue to live for another goal, another reason, and then helped inspire Rome as a whole, right? To become what was next to come after, obviously after he dies. The similar thing with Freddie Mercury and Queen. He inspires thousands of people. They see him suffering, they see him in pain. Everyone that loves him unconditionally, that he inspires them to say, "Hey, even when you're down and out, I'm feeling my purpose now with music, but then I'm gonna feel another purpose, which is continue and give this best concert that I can, and just leave it all up out on the table with no regrets." He even says in the movie, I would not, if I have a few days left, I'm gonna make it the best ever. I don't know the exact quote, but he said it's something similar to that. So again, in these two movies, different plots, different ideas and everything, but still the characters are fulfilling their purpose, and then they find a new purpose, even in times of 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 death and sorrow. So tying those two together, like I just did, and then tying it into the question that I originated with was, how do we find our purpose in life? And then also, how do we use our gifts and talents to help and inspire others? Again, if we go back to these two characters, Freddie Mercury had the gift of music, right? Of his voice, the flamboyant lifestyle, the brashness of his attitude. He said, "Queen's gonna be this. We're gonna do it this way." Even when people said, "Your music is terrible. That's never gonna work. Nobody's gonna buy it," etc. He did it his own way, and he inspired others to follow. Maximus, he inspired thousands of soldiers, and you can see in the opening battle scene where he makes a speech, and they're all following him. He goes to the front of the line with the sword, starts, fighting, and everybody's watching him, and they're inspired by him, by his his style, his confidence, his leadership. So those talents, those gifts that those both individuals possessed are those things that inspire us, even through the movies. The connections that we make when we're sitting there watching the movie and we're sitting there enjoying it, we connect with those characters. We connect with with Maximus because we've all lost something, maybe loved ones through death as well, or maybe relationships, or maybe friends, or whatever the thing that we lost, and then we've been hurt by others. So we've felt that need for revenge. We felt the need to prove ourselves, to say I am tough, and all these different things that all these different characteristics that Maximus has, right? So we connect with that character, and we understand that I am similar to Maximus. I'm not killing people in a coliseum, but I feel him and I connect with him, right? And that's what these directors do. They want to connect you to a character. The same thing with Freddie Mercury's character. he's you're rooting for him because you understand the ending of the movie already, because we know about Queen. This is just the story, telling the story of Queen and how they got to where they went to, and all the music that we get now, right? So we know what the outcome is, but we like to see the beginning of how he was told, you're not going to be good enough. Your music will not be bought by anybody. He struggles with his dad being accepted, who hasn't had that as a young man in life. There's many, I can attest to that, trying to prove to your father that you are enough, that you are of the person that needs respect, that you want to do your own thing. So, and then maybe if you're also struggling with your confidence, as far as your your sexuality, or your individuality, or who you are as a person. So we connect with Freddie Mercury's character within the movie. We're rooting for him. We're understanding that we also hide things. We are uh, ashamed of things. We are guilty of things. So we connect with that character, with all the things that we've had in our lives, right? I do. And I know many of you out there probably do as well, connect with that. So there's a connection with these characters, and then there's then understanding how they're using their gifts and talents to help and inspire others. And then we also understand that they had a purpose, and they were living a purpose, and then they gained a new purpose through that battle and journey that they were going through. So that's the tie-in of both movies and comparisons. And what I would like you out there to understand, that not everything is cut and dry, right? Black and white. There's gray, and then there's gray, right? So how does all that connect to the main question, right? Of what is my purpose? How do I find my purpose? The answers that I come up with when I talk to my clients, some of those are, and their perspectives for you to accept, not accept, and just to say, yeah, I get it, but I don't really feel it, right? So you can judge these perspectives that I'm giving you as you will. The first one is, why are you so convinced that you're not living your purpose now? What is it that, and think about it. I'm not doing what I need to do. I feel empty. I feel like I'm not doing enough. I feel like there's a void. So how are you convinced 100% that you are not living your purpose at the moment? That's the first question. And answers can go, left, right, up and down, right? When that question gets answered. The next the next question that could be, if it's work related, if you have a craft and a skill, anything like that, have you asked yourself, have I mastered my craft? Have I mastered this job 100%? Have I done everything? Have I tried my best? Have I done everything to fulfill this job duties, and it no longer serves me, and no longer serves it no longer serves me, and I no longer serve it? Have I done that? And it's not about, am I the best at it in the world? Am I the best at it at all time? If you use yourself as your own measuring stick and you challenge yourself, then you can answer that question 100%. And I do get some answers like, well, no, I think I can do better. I'm not there yet. I'm pretty good at it, but I'm not 100% the best at it for myself. So then, is that something you want to explore? Is that something you want to look at? Is it something that you become stagnant and you're not just challenging yourself anymore? So that's another angle to look at it. So these all these questions come up because at the end of the day, my message in this video is, if you're present in the moment and you're trying your best at what you do or what you are, and you're living an intentional life each and every day, you're living your life and you're waking up with intent every day, then you're fulfilling your purpose. Being present in the moment, being alive, enjoying the moment, you are fulfilling your purpose, because that's what it's about. Not always wanting to see what's next, or always wanting to see what you could have done better all the time, or what the future holds all the time. If you're living with intent and you're present in the moment, everything that you do, every action that you take, every reaction that you take, all the influence that you give, all the influence that you get, everything that comes through you not only affects you, but it affects everything around you. Your loved ones, your coworkers, your friends, your neighbors. Everything that you do, that you touch, the way you are, the way you behave, the way you react, the way you transact with people, in all the relationships that you have, influence and has a trickle down effect. Not necessarily down, but out, up, and all around you. Your energy, your aura, who you are as a person, your goals, your passion, your drive, your influence, all that has a direct connection to everyone else that comes in contact with you. So living in the moment, staying present, being intentional in all that what you do, that is your purpose already. You're living it now. The question is, what else do you want for yourself? What other goals did you have in mind? Are you challenging yourself? Are you using yourself as a measuring stick? Are you trying to be like someone else? Are you trying to compete with other people? Are you trying to be like somebody else? Are you trying to get what somebody else has? Or are you just looking at yourself and saying, am I better today than I was yesterday? And I want to be better tomorrow than I am today as a person. That's the questions that I would ask myself. I'm competing with myself, and I am my own biggest critic, because I do not care what anybody else is doing. I do not care what expectations have been put on me by anybody else in my life. And that's something that we have to let go of as well. We have these expectations that others have put on us for many years or generations. So we tend to follow and be inspired by that. Well, Freddie Mercury, Maximus, in those movies, in those storylines, did not get inspiration from others. They were who they were, and they wanted to be and do it their way. And when things got out of shape and got out of line and got messed up, they still find the way. They found the way to still be their own person and to accomplish their goals through that purpose that they found for themselves. So hopefully you grasp these perspectives that I'm sharing with you. Again, it's all, it could be general, it could be specific to anyone out there. But go back, and I suggest go back and go look at those movies again through those different perspectives, through those different lenses. Put on those different lenses. I got mine on. Put on yours, and look at it in those perspectives of, oh, okay, that's what he's talking about. I get that, you know, because we do connect with all these characters. We do connect with our own characters around us. our family, our friends, our neighbors, social media, influencers out there in the world telling you how to do this, how to get rich, how to find your true purpose, how to how to live life the best, how to do anything, right? You can Google anything, you can YouTube anything, and you'll find it. So I hope that my perspective um, helps you and gives you a little bit of um, of a different viewpoint and angle to look at this through. Understand that you have a purpose, and don't sell yourself short. Do not ever sell yourself short. You're living your purpose right now. It's just, is it exactly what you want to do? Maybe not. If it's not, then what would you like to do? Where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Start asking those questions. If you need help with that, contact me. Send me a message. Let's work together. Let's decipher this. Let's walk through it. Let's make a plan. But that is my hope to you all out there that are watching this video, that have read the blog. I appreciate all those that have read the blog and you're reading. I think this is my 10th blog already, my 10th entry. So if you're looking at them and you're reading them, I really appreciate it. It helps me out and it inspires me to keep making these videos as well. And for all of you that watch these videos, and I know there's a few. I know I watch my numbers and all that, so it's not like exploding or anything. But it doesn't matter to me, because if I can help one person out there, and if that person is you that's watching right now, that's all that matters to me. One life is important. If I can inspire you, then I'm fulfilling my dream and I'm fulfilling my passion and my purpose. Again, thank you for watching the video. I hope you gain fresh new perspectives from what I just shared, and you find your purpose. And if you already have it, just wait and see, because you'll get more purpose and you'll get more purpose. Remember, stay present, love life, and most importantly, love your journey. Thank you. Until we meet again.